Welcome to this week's episode of It's All Fun and Games, the official Gamezo podcast. I am Dan. This is Ross. It is what it is. We're episode 16. If you don't know us by now, bugger on. That's just how it goes. How are you, Ross?
Wait, bugger on? What the hell does that mean?
It's like a British F off.
Are you trying to get like more Gamezo.co.uk-ish?
I'm gonna start drinking tea and
Well, I do that.
I know, but you've always liked tea. I don't really like tea, so I'd be like adopting a piece of their culture. Some fish and chips on stream. We can talk about the footy, a little bit of football, and that's, I don't know. We got to get more British. I get asked, it's funny. Every single time I end up interviewing somebody or having a conversation with somebody after at an event or whatever, right? I've been doing some online events, so they get the list and they get Dan Tyrell, Gamezo.co.uk. And then the first thing they say to me is like, "You're not British," and I'm like, "Nope, no, sir, I am not." And same thing, you've seen it on some of the interviews we've done on the podcast. It's like, what's up with the two American guys being the face of Gamezo? It's like, well, we're handsome young gentlemen.
Who are the not English, the not American guys on Gamezo? Because I feel like we got Carlos.
Yeah, we've got Carlos, Nate, me, you. I think that's it.
Taking it over?
Slowly. The Americans.
Are there more Americans at Gamezo?
No, we're mostly European.
No.
Right now, yeah. It's unfortunate. We'll get there. One day it'll be gamezo.co.us. Or just .com.
Gamezo.com.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it up.
Paul didn't want to fork the extra money for the GG. You have to go to the co.uk.
Dude, not to before we go, not to go too deep into this internet, but GG and IO are so loved right now. You cannot spend less than $100 to get that URL.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But anyway, if you're listening on audio right about now, or in a few seconds, you'll hear an ad for Anchor FM. If you're watching every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, /Gamezo, I think GG. Are we GG? I don't know. We're something. You can find us. You can find us. We're there. You get to avoid the ad read. So right after the agenda, you'll hear that. If you want to fast forward, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds long. Just go forward that much. So agenda. It's a new week. It's a new podcast. We're changing it again because I'm so sick of esports. Esports are bad, and I'm not talking about them anymore. How do you feel about that, Russ?
Esports are good. Just the stuff we were covering was very mediocre.
Yes.
And irrelevant.
Yes.
To be very honest. So.
The end.
It's Carlos, right?
Yeah,
Carlos is the one doing the.
Yeah, GG Easy.
Yeah, GG Easy. The Carlos experience.
You can get in there. So
I don't know what he wants me to call it.
It's a 4-minute esports recap on YouTube.
Probably all it needs.
Yeah. So we're gonna let him do that, and we're just gonna talk about news and topics, and then that's just and even that's mediocre. So the next podcast could just be nothing. We could just be talking about what we ate on the 4th of July. That July 5th podcast is gonna be painful for me, man. I'm gonna be hungover.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna be hungover. But Formula 1's back on the 5th, so I can't be that hungover. So we got that going for us. All right, so the agenda this week, we'll go over some news. We'll talk about Mixer blowing up a bunch of people's lives. We'll talk about what we've been playing, and then I'm going to drop a nuke on Ross. So it's going to be awesome.
Is the nuke that the podcast is being discontinued?
It's canceled, baby. Last podcast ever. Congratulations. All right. That would make you happy.
Probably, yeah.
Ross would move on with his life. All right, so the news. The first one is... We were literally just talking about this before, right? Who actually cares what the specs are going to be in the Xbox Series S, the Project Lockhart, the little cheap Xbox next-gen console, right? And I want to be clear that I honestly don't care about the specs on the consoles. I just want to see the games run and look good. But it's important. So if you've been following this at all, there's a discless version of the PS5, a digital-only version, and that's supposed to be to compete with, or speculated, obviously, if you're using more than one brain cell, to compete with this Project Lockhart, which is supposed to be the digital-only version of the new Xbox. A lot of people were weirded out when they saw pictures of it because it's this tiny little square, and the normal one looks like a fridge, you know.
Oh, that's a real picture. I thought that was just like Photoshop.
It could be. I don't know. But so the first thought that came out is, well, it can't be that powerful. As far as we know, the PS5 diskless version is the exact same console. They just removed the disk drive, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same thing. The Project Lockhart, according to dev kit information that was released, the current dev kit has a Lockhart profiling mode, which allows the devs to test how their game would run on the cheaper version of the system. And what it comes down to is it's about 50% or less of the performance of the actual system. So it's got half the RAM, 1/3 the teraflops, and an underclocked CPU versus kind of an overclocked CPU, which just to me indicates that this is exactly what we thought it was going to be, which is a box to attach to xCloud. I've been calling it the Stadia, the Microsoft Stadia, basically is what it's looking like it's going to be. So there you go. Don't go if you're a parent and you're listening. And Adam, I want to shout out Adam. Actually, let's shout out Adam. He's our number one
Adam?
listener. Michaela's cousin, Adam.
Okay.
Yep, he's you know him. He was the photog at the wedding. We do game nights together. Wow.
Okay.
Wow, he's going to be real sad. He's been listening since day one. He's been he's been sharing us with everybody on the Facebook. So this is for Adam.
He can send me a nasty message on Facebook, and I'll never see it because I don't use Facebook.
That's true.
But I now you say the game night thing. I remember that because I remember I skipped out on one game night.
Yeah, and you got in big trouble. You got into big trouble. But Adam, don't go buy Ben an Xbox Series S. Ben's not gonna like it. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So if you're a parent and you're listening, and unless you have super fast, slick internet, and you want your kid to only be able to play games off of a service that you pay for monthly, don't buy that version. So that's all I have to say about it.
But wait, so the specs are half as good,
Yeah.
and there's like a specific profile on the dev kit that the devs can test and make sure it runs on the crappier version.
Correct.
So you're creating extra work for devs?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
Um.
I thought they love devs. I thought that's their thing. We love games. We love devs. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna make them do this extra work to have it work. Like, that's why you have an Xbox One for the crummier games, for the cheaper console.
Correct.
Why are you doing this again?
So yeah, I guess the main the purpose here is that I'm assuming Microsoft wants to run the majority of the processing power in the cloud, but locally there will have to be enough to do it. So the dev kit is basically just to make sure that when they run their game in the cloud, the console has enough juice. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, but it should run the same then.
Well, not always, because you can change, you can optimize the game programming wise to use certain components of the cloud and then certain components locally for different things. You know what I mean? Because like there might be certain things maybe you want to render something locally instead of render it in the cloud and then have to stream it over the internet to the console. You know what I mean?
What a pain, dude.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. Like, I'm not some like super smart computer engineer guy, but it's just when I see stuff like this, it's just you're creating so many hurdles, and it's just making it so difficult for no reason. The whole streaming thing, it's just, I've said it a bajillion times. As long as Dan can't get his internet to work on Sundays, streaming is not going to be a thing. As long as until all of us have Google Fiber, just like the actual one where it's like the true line or whatever it is, until we get that, the streaming stuff's not viable. And it's, even if it's working, there's crummy input delay, and it's just give us games on a disc or digital download. That's fine. The digital download should be the thing that like we're working towards in this generation. The whole streaming thing, it's not something that Microsoft or Sony can fix unless they're going to make their own internet service magically, and they're going to have like titanium wires and giving us NASA level download and upload speeds. Until then, it's just not going to work. And I'm tired of companies trying to force this. It's like, just do what you're good at.
Yeah.
I mean, Sony had it right with just doing the digital only console. That's the big leap you should be making this generation. The big leap shouldn't be doing a Stadia thing. And I don't get it, man.
Nope. I agree. Look, back when we worked at GameStop, I remember I forget who it was. So a manager came back from the conference and they were like, GameStop bought this company and they have these like super secret NSA level data centers all over the country, and you're going to be able to buy a controller and you're going to be able to stream the game from the controller to any device anywhere. And I just remember it might have been like Ray. And I was like, not with the internet speeds we have today. They're not. Like, is it a satellite? And by the way, have you looked at the upload download speeds for satellite internet? We're talking kilobits, not megabits. But I'm with you. We had this conversation, I think, on last week's as well. It's just, you can do everything right in your house. You don't control your ISP. You can like hardwire everything with like Pelham rated cables and the fastest everything, and you can have your own like patch-in panel in your own house, and you can do everything right. But if the ISP just doesn't have enough to give, or their infrastructure sucks, like which is
more likely the case.
Yeah, you're just not going to do it. Some rat in the depends where you are, if you have overhead or underground wires, but a rat chewing through one optic cable, and then it's all done. So and like the one cool thing I liked about xCloud, which I believe they had a beta. Yeah, they had a beta for like this generation, but you can do cool things with it, like you set up your own home console as a server, right? And then you can play your games from your home console anywhere on anything or on another system. But it's not like remote play per se. You're not like playing on that console over the internet. You're streaming the game from your console to wherever you are, which is nice. So it's like, not only do you have the xCloud cloud, but your Xbox itself can become like your own private cloud server with all your games on it. You can play it in different places. But with this system, you lose that too. So now not only can you only stream from the cloud, but you lose like half of the functionality that is involved in xCloud and being able to host your own, you own your own games on your own console and play them elsewhere. And people like that idea because xCloud's not going to have like everything. That's something too. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. Like, the Gears 23 comes out, but it's not on xCloud until, I don't know, it comes out in October everywhere, and then it's not on until the next June. So now you're stuck playing a new Banjo-Kazooie again.
It's such a headache, man.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But again, in this situation, just don't cheap out on the crummy console. It's been time and time again.
Save the money.
Don't buy the crummier version. Don't buy the cheaper version. Don't buy the version without the disc drive. They operate the same. Like, I know we all love the digital only crap and the streaming stuff and I mean, I have not bought a physical game in a while, but still, I want the disc drive because it just makes sense. You put the thing in and it works.
Yep.
I sound like an old guy, but you put the disc in and it takes 7 hours to download. But okay, so I just want to bring this back to what this generation needed for consoles. All we needed an SSD, we needed more storage space, and like that was it. The games are gonna look better, because you're just gonna have better hardware regardless. So that's an upgrade. But all we really needed was stuff to just run better, bring stuff to 120, bring like lower load times, which they're doing, and that's more than enough for me. That's all I would want out of a next generation console. The whole streaming stuff is just what a waste of time.
You know what it is? It's like, this happens. I'm trying to come up with like a really good example, right? But it's like, here's an example: cars, right? How many cars do you go out, right, and you look at them, and they're always like, and it has sport mode, which will unlock 20 extra horsepower when you need it. And I'm like, I don't need that mode. I need the eco mode for when I'm on the highway, and I need the car to drive. They're just jamming in features that look nice on a nice marketing sheet. And that's what the whole streaming thing is. Because if it functions, and if xCloud will have a better install base. That's what Microsoft has going for it, right? Stadia, you had to go out and seek out that. they're going to sell millions of Xboxes. So they're going to have an install base that can test xCloud and play with it. But if it functions the same way Stadia functions, you're just going to have more people having a subpar experience. That's all. You're going to have a wider berth of people having a subpar experience. And that's going to be that. And you might sell some upgrade packages to Comcast. You know? Like, some kid will get it and be like, oh, this xCloud thing's cool. I get all my games for free. Mom, please. I know the bill's already $175 a month. Can you make it faster? You know? And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That whole thing's a problem. I just don't. This is gonna sound really bad.
Marketing speak to begin with, like because we have the stupid, what is it, optimized for Series X? Like that's just all marketing speak too.
Yeah, you know, let's. I should have moved that one up further next to this one since they go back and forth. But we learned what optimized for Series X means as well. Microsoft came out and they basically said there's three tenets of what optimized for Series X means, right? And they're everything you would imagine. So when a game is optimized for Series X, it can use things like ray tracing, which come in the Series X console. Crazy that you could use the features in the console.
But not the S.
No, not the S. You're going to get faster load times, almost like you have a custom SSD in your new console. Wow.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to get better frame rates, up to 120 frames per second, which... Oh, look at that. It's a more powerful console. So it's all optimized for Series X means is like the game's going to run like you'd expect it to.
Yeah.
On Series X. Basically, it was designed for Series X specs and we're going to dumb it down to play it on other things. That's all that means. But it's a nice little badge that'll be on the game. Sell a few more.
Right, because we need more of those to go with the T and the everything else and the this has this, and this, and then now it's optimized for Series X, and then it's got all the badges of like Dolby surround sound and great.
Yeah,
can't wait.
And I'm gonna sidestep this and complain about something as well. So it's about optimizing games. So the Assetto Corsa Competizione came out on console, right? And everybody was super excited. I'm not bringing this into a sim racing thing. The only thing this has to do with sim racing is the title of the game, okay? So this game comes out, and you know, rightfully so, console gamers are excited. It's been on PC. It's the official thing of the league. It's people were gassed because they had Gran Turismo, Forza, or Project Cars before, and this is supposed to be hyper realistic. The game is locked to 30 frames per second, and it has almost half of natively, without your screen's input delay, it has like up to somewhere between half and 1 millisecond of input delay as well. So, but the thing is, on PC, it has basically zero input lag. And I can't play a racing game below 60 frames per second. You just can't make decisions. So this game came out and everybody was psyched for it. It came out, it looks really good. I'll give them that. But the driving is kind of choppy, and then all of your inputs on your pedals or your controller are going to be basically doubled the delay you're used to if you use, a good monitor. And then the online lobbies, they didn't launch the game with online lobbies, or they did and they were broken, and then they're not getting like any of the DLC until way later. I hate when companies do that, where they take a game and they just neuter it to nothing. And I understand people are very happy with it right now because they've wanted it for so long, but I'm just sitting here, I'm like, no, it goes back to the same thing as like optimized for Series X. Just release the games the way they're meant to be played, or don't release them, Yeah. So it's so sad. But 30 frames per second, like, come on, man.
My favorite bullet point on the optimized for Series X thing is that it says possible 8K.
Possible. Ooh.
Possible 8K. It might be 8K. You don't know. I don't.
unless you have a $1 million machine, you like press up against the screen, and I don't know, man. It's silly. Like I get optimized, like I get 4K stuff because now it's almost where it was a few years ago, where can you buy a not smart TV at this point? It's been you might.
I'm gonna find out very soon.
You might be able to, but I don't know. But it's the same thing now. My brother-in-law just went to buy a new TV. He's like, I don't need 4K. I have nothing that runs 4K. I just need he wanted a 50-inch or 55-inch TV for his living room, 1080p. Happy as a clam. He goes into Best Buy. The only thing you can get is 4K TVs, and they're cheap now too.
Yeah.
Like relatively. So it's like, but consumers are just starting to get 4K stuff into their house. Like I'm still on 1080 everywhere. I have no need to upgrade anything to 4K. So, yeah, I don't know. It's funny. So it's funny that they're like possible 8K. It's like no one's gonna have 8K stuff during this generation. Like just let it go. But anyway,
I just don't. It's again, yeah, you just said it right there. Like they just don't understand what people have this generation, and they're going for what's the most what's the most extra possible thing we can do.
yeah.
8K, great. Let me go out and buy a $2,000 8K TV to play 2 games.
I wonder how much 8K TVs going for right now. Are they
Yeah,
are there any on the market?
First of all, are there any 8K TVs? And is this just like a thing that they're posturing for later?
Yeah, I can get a QLED 8K Samsung Smart TV, 55 inches for $2,500.
For what? To play Halo and to
Ooh.
play.
You want you
have the?
You want to split it, bro? 85-inch 8K TV, $7,000.
God, I wonder what the input delay on that thing is.
It's gonna be bad.
It's probably like double digits at least.
Actually, you know what? 8K TVs aren't that bad in price.
Yeah, it's really big.
Yeah.
Oh, in price? Yeah, well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
$7,000 for an 80.
Yeah.
What do you need an 80-inch TV for?
I don't know, man. My mom just bought a 1080p projector that does up to 100 inches for the kids. And
I was gonna say, what do we have at movie night?
it's yeah, for the kids, and it's actually pretty cool. But I couldn't imagine sitting like it's cool for a movie night. You grab your popcorn, you put the projector up, you hang the little screen thing, 100 inches. It's like being at the movies, right? It's great. But like I wouldn't play video games on it or do anything.
Well,
So
you also need a room that's big enough to have the projector back far enough for it to reach that size.
yeah, like you know my mom's living room. She basically what she does is she puts the projector all the way towards the window at the front of the house, and then she hangs the curtain in the little archway where you walk into the kitchen. So it's like you basically sit at that wall, and then it takes that far to get it to 100 inches.
Jeez.
Yeah. Or you can do it outside. Drive
Or
a
you
movie,
just get
baby. Yeah, or you can just get a TV.
Yeah, on
So-
like the side of it, right? Doing like the Mario Kart on the side of the house.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's all good. It's all good. All right, I'm done being mad. I'm gonna
Wait! Before you do that,
calm down.
Do you have the list of games that are Xbox optimized for Xbox Series X?
I can probably get it. I mean,
Because I remember seeing like a list of games,
yeah,
and probably 75% of them we don't even have a release date for yet.
yeah, that's how that usually works. My cat wants to leave the room, and I don't care. I don't care. Next gen frame rates, faster load times, smart delivery. Play the trailer.
Smart delivery.
we're yeah, that's the other thing. We're getting 2 badges now. Because you get your optimized for Series X, and then you have your smart delivery badge.
Oh, that's if you buy it on Xbox One.
Yeah.
You get it on...
Yep. Yeah, so they only have on their website, it looks like they are only listing... Okay, here we go. We have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is optimized for Series X, smart delivery, 4K HDR. Bright Memory Infinite, optimized for Xbox Series X and 4K. Call of the Sea is all 4. Chorus is all 4. Dirt 5 is all... No, I'm sorry. Chorus is everything except HDR. Dirt 5's all of them. Gears 5 is all of them. Scarlet Nexus, Scorn, Second Extinction, The Ascent, The Medium, Vampire the Masquerade, and Yakuza. And they're all varying. So there's the 4 things. There's optimized, smart delivery, 4K, and HDR. And they're all over the place.
What it sounds to me like is that Microsoft is doing all this crazy extra stuff, and all their first party games are going to be all 4 of the boxes. And then all the third party games are just going to be whatever the hell they decide they want to do.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
It just sounds like a whole lot of extra work for developers, which is great. Good for them. So glad my games are going to get pushed back now so they can make it optimized for the stupid little Microsoft Stadia.
I want the badge. I can't. The game's not going to sell if it doesn't have the badge. So,
I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it. And my favorite is like Sony went the other way on this, and this is why I've always been, a Sony fan. Is I feel like they get it. Like, look, both companies make mistakes and misread the market constantly. But Sony seems to just get it. Like, they're talking about, oh yeah, games will run better on PlayStation 5. That's all I need to hear. I don't need a badge. Like, right? And they seem to be kind of nailing that concept. And Microsoft just seems like they're, you mentioned
Our
it.
consumer is so dumb. They can't figure out if the game is going to run really well unless we put like a stupid little picture on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be used in arguments every day in the great PlayStation versus Xbox wars. Well, it's optimized. Where's your optimization? Anyway.
I don't know. Every game's just optimized.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how software development works.
Like, every game is optimized. What do you mean?
All right. So this is the next one is good. We're gonna keep this energy. This is the negative cast. This is the neg cast. All right. The Last of Us 2 broke every sales record ever. 4 bajillion copies in 3 days. I think it was 4 million in 3 days. The funniest thing is the one that cracked me up is one news story was The Last of Us 2 sets series franchise record for most games sold in a weekend. I'm like, yeah, there's only 2 of them. It had a pretty good chance of setting that record. Like, it's not Uncharted with like 5 or 6 games across multiple generations. It's there's 2 of them. Yeah. There's 2 games. And then my side note was, despite the game being bad.
Despite.
So if people haven't looked, there's a huge disconnect between the end user and the critics on this game. It's kind of like, have you ever done this with, I know you don't watch movies, so it's probably a bad example for you, but I do it a lot. If a Rotten Tomatoes score for a movie is meh from the critics, but like most of the people enjoyed it that watched it,
yeah,
I'll still check it out because I'm there to enjoy the movie. What's happening right now with Metacritic is the opposite. Critics are calling it an absolute masterpiece, and like the majority of gamers don't like it. They're just not enjoying it, which is funny. You know, it happens. You know, some things that are like artistically great might not necessarily be entertaining or jive. Now you watched a playthrough. I listened to a spoiler cast. I had no interest in playing the game. I'm gonna start there, right? And everyone's gonna be like, "Well, you just said you're a Sony fanboy. You have to." I don't have to do anything. First off, there's literally nothing I have to do. I am an adult. I pay taxes. I do what I want. Okay, and just between the initial trailer, and then the leaks and just the marketing around the game, it didn't jive with what I like to play. Like the first one, you know, I had some of that gritty component and, you know, the human elements and the zombie apocalypse type stuff. And it was like, that was cool. This one just being about like perpetual revenge and just horrible violence had no, I don't care like how artistically you do that and how narratively you play that out. Like, I just don't need to play a game where like, I think you said it best a few podcasts ago. You're like, bro, I don't need to sit there and listen to a dog whine over its dead owner. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that to have the visceral experience of being in this horrible world. So, and that's what's happening a lot. And like I said, I was listening to the spoiler cast, so I heard a lot of the big story beats. It was the Kind of Funny guys. They didn't kind of go like frame by frame and discuss the game. They talked about like their favorite parts, their least favorite parts, things they thought worked well, things that didn't. And the whole time I was listening to it, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't play this game. It doesn't seem good. So, you know, death threats are welcome. My Twitter's below.
My DMs are open. Please send me death threats. Your game is not good. Sorry, kids.
Bitwise Dan. If you enjoyed it, that's great. Different strokes for different folks. But
this is kind of like there's multiple things that are going on here, right? So you have the ongoing struggle of us feeling like video game journalists are, I'm trying to think of the PG way to say S&D.
Yeah, they're paid off.
I don't want to say paid off because in the end they're probably not paid off. Like
they're brown nosing. They're brown nosing. Yeah,
it's a lot of like, hey, I'm doing you a solid, so do us a solid down the road, blah blah blah, that sort of thing.
It's political. It's the quid pro quo. If I continue to give Naughty Dog Games tens, they're going to continue to give us unprecedented access and content. Yeah. And
it's like that's kind of grimy. Obviously, it's not journalism, but I mean, games have not really been journalism for a while, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that goes to another prong of all of this of all the incels like review bombing the game because there's a lesbian couple and there's like a trans character and
Oh my god. What a novel concept.
yeah,
Games actually reflecting the different types of people that live in society.
yeah, but like people that don't like the game for that reason are veiling their disdain for the game and just like, oh, it was bad, blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. But it's like in reality, yeah, we know why you don't like the game.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. And then, like I said, on the other side, there's a lot of just kind of, it's a 10 out of 10, the greatest game I've ever played. And I mean, a lot of that's kind of prisoner of the moment, which we're all guilty of doing. We
Yeah.
finish a game and it's like, oh, it's the greatest thing of all time. Nier Automata is still the greatest game I've ever played. So that was December, still not prisoner of the moment. I've passed that phase. We're now almost July. I still think it's the greatest thing I've ever played. So there you go. But I don't know. Like I said, like you said, I watched the whole game. I watched someone play the whole game. I was never gonna play the game because the combat and like the actual gameplay, it never felt like groundbreaking. It was just sneak around, fight these guys,
Mm-hmm.
sneak around, don't get attacked. So it didn't feel like it was very. I needed to experience it firsthand to enjoy the story. It honestly, you could have just made this a movie and it probably would have been fine, but the writing was just horrible. The pacing was horrible. There were times where I don't even know what timeline I'm in technically because it's like the game does this thing where you're playing a section and then your character gets the absolute crap beaten out of him for whatever reason, and then you black out, and then it's like 4 years later or 4 years prior, and it's like, okay, well, why am I doing this now?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're constantly getting put in situations where you're interacting with characters that are either dead or not around anymore or double crossed you, and then they're adding context to it afterwards, and it's a mess, man. Like
Yeah.
that game's writing and pacing is an absolute mess. That game could have ended at 3 different times and it would have been fine. And then they kept going and it was just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
Why
that
are you
was.
doing this?
I was listening to the spoiler cast. I was just kind of. I did the same thing. I was like making a lot of like. It's like why, you know? And
Why?
it's different when you watch it because like there's a lot of context you got from watching it that I didn't get from hearing about
Yeah.
people's playing experience. But the one that strikes me, and kind of I guess a spoiler for The Last of Us 2, 3, 2, 1, is when they get to the barn and it's like it can finally be
Over.
over, and then nope, you're out
Yeah.
there and it's like even like the kind of funny guys were like, I don't know that added anything, and they were very high on the game, but they were like, yeah, I would have been happy with the ending there. And then another guy that I'm friendly with, who plays a lot of games and I trust his opinion a fair amount. He finished the game, and the first tweet he sent out was, "Dear Naughty Dog, just because you can make a 30-hour game doesn't mean you have to make a 30-hour game. Congrats on all the sales." You know, so I think that a lot of people who I kind of trust, and obviously you as well, I trust your opinion on it, felt like there was at least one, if not more, points where the game could have ended and the story could have been complete, and there was a lot of unnecessary components that they. I don't know if they just like kept jamming stuff in there, like, yeah, we're gonna really. It's not a masterpiece until we put this last lump of clay on it, you know?
Yeah, I made this joke to you, but I just hate Western writers, man. They're just so bad. They're so bad at making stories. It's so off. And then when we go into the actual game itself, the pacing of the game was kind of weird, and they did this really cool thing at probably like I forget how long into the game it is, but once you get to like Seattle the first time, it gives you this whole open world area, right? And instead of putting you down like this linear path, it says like, oh, we got to explore these areas. So you go and explore all these different areas, and then you can like progress into the next part of the story. And that's the only time they ever use that like open world hub sort of thing, which it was kind of cool. It was definitely one of the more enjoyable parts that I watched, the gameplay wise, because you had the freedom to go around and do this first or do this first. And oh, you did this and this, you got a code to unlock this safe over here. So you were rewarded for exploring more than you had to and stuff like that. So that was cool. But then that's the only time they do it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's my cat is scratching like crazy to get out. So
Yeah, go do
you monologue for a few
I'll
minutes.
monologue.
I can cut out any awkward silences for the listeners, but for the
No.
and anyone viewing is gonna just have an empty square for a few seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. So the thing ultimately I don't like about this game, again, the pacing is just all over the place. But if I was a fan of this series and if I was a fan of this game, I would be very upset with how they pretty much just destroyed the two characters that they had built up. And well, obviously spoilers, don't if you're still playing the game, don't listen to this part. But they killed Joel the immediate like hour of the game.
Yeah, it's within like
No.
from what I heard and saw, it's like within the first few hours they
like
just do it.
So they spent all this time building this really nice relationship between Joel and Ellie. Joel kills a bunch of people to save Ellie at the end of the first game. It's like a father and daughter sort of dynamic, and it's great. And you go into the second game thinking, "Oh man, it's going to be really good when they expand on this, and they grow more as like a father and a daughter, even though they're not obviously related." But and then it's just, no, we don't like this character anymore. We're gonna kill him off. And then it's like, okay, well, at least I'm still playing as Ellie. This is fine. Ellie's cool. She's developing as a character. She's becoming more hardened. She's got like little parts of Joel in her where she's like kind of a badass and she's doing all these crazy things. And then you gotta play as Abby. And it's like, okay, cool. And then they make Ellie worse and worse and worse, and they just turn her into an absolute monster. And then the game ends, just you might as well have just killed her at that point. She doesn't get the revenge she wanted. And then her wife, I guess, leaves her. She gets the ultimate bad ending. So you kill one character and you pretty much just killed the other one too.
Yeah, and that's
great writing, guys.
And like I get what they were trying to do. Like, and so I guess I'll give them credit there. I just think the execution didn't come out correct, right? They're trying to tell this story of how like this pursuit of revenge is, if it becomes all consuming, it will kill you effectively, in Joel's case for real, and in Ellie's, I mean, she just couldn't let it go to the point where she loses everything, and to the point where she can't even play the stupid song anymore. But so yeah, I don't know, man. So
the thing that like, so you haven't watched any of it, so you don't know exactly what happens or whatever.
No, I've only listened.
So what happens when you're playing as Joel or whatever, Abby is just kind of out in the middle of nowhere with her group, and she gets lost, and she runs into Joel and Joel's brother. So they obviously go to help her because they're human beings. They're like, oh, we're getting chased by the horde of zombies or whatever. Here, let's help. Let's get you to safety or whatever. And at one point, Joel's like, I'm Joel. He's Tommy, and we're here to help you. And she just immediately just has a breakdown because out of all the people on the planet that could possibly be named Joel, this is the one she's looking for. And that didn't make sense.
Yeah, I heard that part where they're like, "Oh, why are you looking at us like you know us or whatever?" And then like the whole thing. But you're right. Like it is the entire world. If I was hunting a Ross and you came up to me in the world and you're like, "Hi, I'm Ross," I want to be like, "I'm shooting you in the leg and bashing your skull in with a golf club." Like, but
yeah. Plus, Joel is also like not that stupid to just immediately like, hey, I've done a lot of bad shit in my life and I've killed a lot of people. Hey, I'm Joel, by the way.
I'm Joel, best known.
Smarter to not just give out his actual name.
My name is Joel. You might know me from murdering a lot of people in the last game, including your father.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that good. I can see where people think it's good because how do I word this? it's the set pieces they put in place are very graphic, and they're very explosive, and there's a lot of blood, and I can see how playing the game and experiencing all that firsthand, where you're just like, wow, this is crazy. Holy crap, all this stuff is happening. But if you sort of take a step back and you're like, okay, well, this doesn't make sense. Why does this matter? And then the thing about the barn, man, like they were talking about that throughout the whole game.
Hmm.
Like there's little snippets of just like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna get a farm one day. That's my goal. Like the two characters are talking about that through the game, and they're like, oh, that's kind of boring, don't you think? Like having a farm, no people around. No, it's nice. I think I would want that. You sure you'd want that? Yeah, that I'd want that someday. And then they do the thing where they put you on the farm, and they could have done a really nice thing of, yeah, revenge is bad, but eventually you grow as a person, and you don't need to hunt this person down, and you accept that this is a good life, and you just live it. But no,
That would be
I gotta
character progression, Ross.
that would be character progression. That would be someone growing as a character.
Yeah, instead of spiraling into. And I think that was my biggest problem, and we talked about that via text when you finished, is that would have. That. The game, from what I understand, is very much a play on like darkness and light, right? Dark and light. And they even do a lot of interesting things apparently with the lighting that have like symbology and crap in it. Which is, that's all cool. But like, they didn't need to be so black and white with it in that, like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't need to be like, oh, you either succumb to the darkness totally, or you're in, in the light the forever. Like, there is this capability to fall into that darkness, right? Because Abby does it too. She goes on this murderous rampage, trying to find Joel and whatnot. But there is redemption to come up and out of this, and even in the final fight, if she would have just helped her and like used that as it came back, and like that was the moment that allowed her to grow. She succumbed to the darkness. She was going to go find her, and she was going to kill her, and she was going to finally get her revenge. But then she saw her and she helped her, and she decided, no, this is enough. There's too much. And both characters found redemption in walking away. Like, why wasn't that a path, an option?
Even at the end, she's waffling. It's just so shitty. It's like, you went all the way over here to kill this person, and she's tied up. There you go. You get the kill. Kill her. No, you help her down. And then you help her to the boat, and she's putting her friend in the boat, and then Ellie's like, no. I want to kill you now. It's like, what are you doing? And then they fight, and again, she gets absolutely destroyed for the fifth time in the damn game. And then she just gives up. And she's like, just go. Just go. I don't want to see you no more. Just go. And then she goes. Abby she paddles off and into the distance, into the foggy water. And Ellie's just sitting there like, damn, I should have probably killed her when she was tied up. And it's like, God, I just don't understand how you have the conviction to leave the farm and your kid and your wife behind, and then you finally get there and you're like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah.
I just, no, not for me, Bo.
All right, there, we got it out. This has become the Last of Us. I want to call it a B fest, but we're trying to stay PG-13.
The game sucked. The people who enjoyed it probably have played 2 games in their lifetime. The journalists that give it a 10 are paid, and they don't actually play video games. I hate video games. I hate the people that play video games. You're all dumb. Play Nier Automata. There you go.
There, Ross got it all out. You know what I would play, though? A Pokemon MOBA. Which is what we're going to get is a Pokemon Unite MOBA Lite. I don't know. We're just in that place in time, I guess, where we're getting Pokemon everything.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I don't have
it's better than Last of Us do everything.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that. I just thought that was really interesting. I don't know if you saw it, but it made me laugh. Before that event, before they announced it, Nadeshot tweeted out, "You know what we could really use is a Pokemon MOBA," and he tweeted it as a complete joke. And then like 20 minutes later, he retweeted it and said, "Wow, that aged well." Because it was like, I was laughing. I was like, because I didn't realize it was a MOBA until later. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're running out of things to do with Pokemon.
Yeah.
We got a Pokemon fighting game. We got Pokemon RPGs. We got Pokemon dungeon crawlers. We got
Where's my
Pokemon
Pokemon
Go.
Sim Racer? When do I get to like sit in a Porsche as Pikachu? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Okay. All right. We'll move on. This next one is a. I'm gonna let you speculate here. So Square came out. Square Enix. For those that don't call them Square.
People that make good video games, unlike Naughty Dog.
Yep. Naughty Dog made Crash Bandicoot, so you can, and Uncharted. But yeah, they're gonna announce it. But they came out. I love this. We've talked about this before. They announced the announcement. Yes, I love when companies do that. But they announced that they will be announcing a bunch of games over the coming months. So what are they gonna announce, Ross?
Nobody knows. Okay, so there's one thing that they could potentially announce, and it is The World Ends With You 2.
Mm-hmm.
They just announced that they are doing an anime for the game. They had a bunch of those characters in Kingdom Hearts 3. There is a teaser for The World Ends With You 2 at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, even though Kingdom Hearts 3 is very bad. Had to throw that out there. Still haven't finished it, by the way.
Oh no.
But it's very bad.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I even when Square makes games that aren't like for me, I genuinely can see at least where they would be enjoyed and by who they would be enjoyed by. And it took me a lot of my life to realize that a lot of the games I have enjoyed growing up were made by them or published by them. Like, it was so funny, like, looking back on it, I'm like, almost every single game I enjoyed was made or published by Square Enix. So that's it's a good track record, I guess, you know?
So July and August, they're going to announce a bunch of stuff. I mean, we already have Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
That's already, like... we've seen a trailer of it. And we've seen exclusive gameplay, which was a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
As we said last episode.
Yeah.
The World Ends With You. We're going to get the newest... not expanded. We're going to get the newest update of Final Fantasy 14. There's rumors that it's not rumors, but if you go by like the general timetable of how Square Enix operates with 14, we are due for a trailer of the next expansion very soon, which wouldn't be out for like another year and a half to 2 years, but we're due for that. Usually they show off the trailer at the fan festival, which is like their own convention that they've canceled obviously for COVID. They're not going to announce Final Fantasy 16. They don't want me happy. They want me to be miserable for the rest of my life. So they're not going to announce Final Fantasy 16. It's going to be we still have 17 more Final Fantasy 7 remake versions to make and all that stuff. So Square Enix is locked up for a very long time. Sucks.
It does.
That's how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
It's all good.
Even if we get 16, it's going to play like the 15 and 7 remake, so I'm going to be miserable anyways.
Oh,
whatever.
Poor Ross. Sad face.
I've accepted it. It's really hard to see games that you love sort of devolve into something else.
Yeah.
But
yep.
That's why we have indie devs.
Yes, because they play the games that they want to play, which oftentimes...
thankfully, Atlas has been killing it with Persona games. So
yeah. You know what I could...
Even though those get kind of boring.
Can I tell you what I could go for real bad? If Square Enix came out and they gave me like brand new remake of the PS1 Xenogears, but like modern.
Then they might have to they'd have to make the second half of the game better.
That's true, but it's okay. That was my first game I owned where I had to like pull a disc out, swap the disc. I love that game. That's
such a good feeling, man.
Yeah.
When you finish the disc and it was like go to disc 2.
Today, these kids won't ever know what it's like to have to swap discs.
I have a bunch of friends that are playing Final Fantasy 9 or whatever, and I'll make comments like, "Oh, you just finished disc 1," or "Oh, that's the end of disc 2," and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, kids today won't know the joy of like going to Toys R Us and looking at the plastic thing on the wall and being like, that one looks cool, and you take the thing up to the register and they come out and they hand you a PS1 case that's that thick, it's like 3 inch, and you're like, oh, it's more than one disc,
They will, because Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be multiple discs, and then they're
That's
inevitably going to come out with a version that's just all of the games together in one.
That's true. That would
be cool if they actually did like the old PS1 Square disc cover or whatever. That would be sick. I'd love that.
Yeah, that would be like I feel like they would do that with like a collector's edition version.
They'd have to.
But that would be dope. I would love that. So yeah, give me Xenogears Square. I'll pay you because that's how it works.
You have to actually finish the second half of the game because that was definitely very rushed.
Yeah. It's like, you could tell they were running out of. I haven't played it in a long time. I actually rebought it when PS1 games. Was it end of PS3 or early PS4 when you could buy like PS1 games digitally? I rebought it and I played like the first half of the first half and then I stopped playing. But yeah, you could tell that the end of that game, they were just like, there is no more money. Publish the damn game, you know. So that's good. What do we got next? Oh, Steam Summer Sale's going on. This is not a news topic. This is a friendly reminder that all of that stuff in your wish list that you were waiting to be cheap was going to be cheap. Go pick it up. The end.
We don't make anything off of this. We're just being nice and telling you to go buy stuff that you wanted to buy.
Exactly. We have a humble link, but that doesn't help you. So
have you bought anything in the Steam sale?
Not yet. I have a list though.
All right, what's your list?
So the main one I have to buy now is that game Josh and Tom want to play, that Deep Star Rock Galactic. Yeah, that one. So that's on my list because that's down from like 35 or 40 to like 20, which is good. So it'll be good to play with them.
I don't know anything about that game.
It's like, it looks to me, I watched a trailer and when we were playing Warzone a few weeks ago, and Josh was like, oh, this game looks really cool. And Tom's like, oh yeah, I looked at it. It looks pretty cool. So I looked at the trailer. It looks like a Gears of War like meets Space Dwarfs style. I don't know. It looks like there's like building and stuff that goes on. So it's like a shooter builder thing. I'm down, man. I'll play almost anything with groups of people. Like I don't even.
Okay, Tom.
I don't really, unless it looks like totally not a me game. I don't care. I'll play most things if it's with people.
So let's hold this up. Doing this live. The people love it when we do this.
Yeah, they do. It's in the reviews.
Journalism on the fly.
Bro, did you? I want to read to you the latest review on the podcast live.
Okay.
That's Pandora. We don't want live music playing right now.
Actually review this, God.
Yeah, we've got 6 or 7 reviews.
Oh no.
Live reviews. They're all 5 stars, baby. 5 stars. With that said, go like, subscribe, 5-star, do all the good stuff. All right. The last one is the hosts are cool. Dan and Ross seem like cool dudes, especially Dan. He's very handsome.
I hate that. Okay, Dan. So clearly that was yours.
No, that was my wife. Meg literally went in and reviewed the show.
Yeah, see, okay. All right,
so
Deep Rock Galactic.
But we got other ones. We got good stuff.
Player FPS, destructible environments, procedurally generated caves, endless hordes of alien monsters, similar to games you played, Borderlands and Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know about the Siege part, but
it's because it's a shooter.
Positive. Yeah. Metacritic 86. Okay.
So you getting it? You gonna play with us?
4 unique classes. Gunner, Scout, Driller, and Engineer. That's groundbreaking. We've never had that in a game before.
Huh. Sounds like...
Procedurally generated cave network. That's okay. That seems cool. High-tech gadgets. Dwarves know what they need to bring to get the job done. Okay, well, this is definitely a Josh aesthetic game, I can tell.
Immediately upon seeing it, it reminded me of like Warhammer 40k Space Dwarfs.
It's very weird because Josh and I like similar games, but we have very opposite aesthetics of games that we like. Because like the whole 40k dwarves and cool steampunk, like I hate all that. Like I think that's the dumbest stuff ever. Like I hate that art style. Yep. But I mean, it seems cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'll play. I've got
lots of positives.
Big news. I am on vacation as of Friday.
Okay.
I'm going nowhere, so I'm around to play games and stuff. That is actual big news. That's like
was that your nuke that you're gonna drop?
No. The nuke I'm gonna drop is coming though. It's coming later. It's even better.
Okay.
All right. What do we got here? Oh, so I was joking. A lot of people on a lot is relative. a lot of people relative to who normally watch clips of our podcast enjoyed our us running WB games.
Okay, so I have a bone to pick with whoever runs the Gamezo Twitter account.
Okay.
So that clip or whatever that they put on Twitter of us running WB games, they completely cut out my section about Joker the game.
Oh, they did.
I'm very upset about that.
The Joker the game.
That was the whole funny part.
That was the best part. I don't run the Gamezo Twitter. Spoiler. That's not me.
I know. That's why I'm saying whoever's running the Twitter.
Not me. Hey, but despite the potential sale to us to run it, apparently we could be taking on some games that are already in development. There were a bunch of, well, I don't want to say a bunch of leaks, but there were a lot of domain names found that have been registered and tied back to some other things that have been leaked. That there's some potential Rocksteady style games that we might get, like in Arkham Knights, or the big one people are pushing is the Suicide Squad game, a Suicide Squad style game. I'm really interested to see what happens with that, because they would be pretty far into development already on a new game. And then, like, can you imagine your Rocksteady games? You're like, we're gonna make our next Batman. It's gonna be so cool. It's Suicide Squad. People love that. The movie's coming out soon. The James Gunn remake, or whatever it is, it's a sequel technically, but it's kind of remaking the whole thing. And like, if that does well, because he's a good director and stuff, like the game can tie right into it, and people hungry for a Batman game, and it's gonna be awesome. And then like 2 weeks from now, we buy it and we cancel all of the Batman projects because we sell off the Batman property. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure doing that.
So that's going to be a real rough position to be in right now.
Did you see the domains that they actually registered?
Yeah. It's like one
of them's like Suicide Squad Kill Justice League game or something.
Yeah.
It's like a super long.
I was like, no, it would just be Suicide Squad the game. Would be like,
yeah.
But the thought process behind that one is that could be like the tagline. So they're trying to buy up like domains that are similar. You know what I mean? You do that so people don't try to squat on your stuff. Or, here's an interesting fact. Maybe someone is trying to get loaded rich by buying domain names that they think that WB Games wants, so they can own them now and sell them back to WB Games later.
Well, I thought it was confirmed that WB actually bought those.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because the article I read said that WB bought the.
Oh, well, maybe they did. Maybe they did.
Although I don't know how that's like public information.
Yeah, because so here's the thing: a lot of the information of who owns the domains is public information, unless you can buy like privacy add-ons that basically if we want to go buy like danandross.com right now, right? We could do it so that it shows like whichever one of us bought it would show our name and information about us, right? Or we could pay like GoDaddy an extra $10, and then GoDaddy would keep that information private, and in the domain registered, they would basically put themselves as the contact information. So you can't hide the private information when you buy a domain.
I mean, it seems like free marketing, if anything.
Yeah. So, anyway.
So, I pay extra.
There you go. All right. This one was a big news story that was recent, but there's like nothing. This sucks because it's like there's nothing to talk about. So Dr. Disrespect got banned from everything. It started with just Twitch, and then it turns out that he was also taken out of his Discord partnership, was removed. His Twitch subs have been being refunded as we speak. Yeah. So it's like it's bad, right? It's not a filming in a public bathroom at E3 get suspended for 2 weeks situation. This is like he's gone. He's gone. He's done. Twitch came out and they gave the most generic statement you could possibly give, which is we regularly look into people who violate our terms of service, and blah blah blah. We treat all people the same and whatever. It is what it is. I thought it was the DMCA. I thought it was a DMCA takedown thing.
It was the DMCA.
Well, at first, just because they are going through, and Twitch is getting a lot of strikes, right? And so they need to. So I thought it was going to be a temporary ban related to that initially, like very initially, and then it came out that it was permanent. And then what's even worse came out is that some people came out and they said, I know why he's been banned. It's really, really bad. And I don't feel comfortable disclosing the reasoning.
No, let's not do that.
And then he came out and was like, I have no idea. No one's contacted me. I have no idea. So it's like it's very interesting. I tweeted yesterday, bro, just cop to whatever you did because it's gonna come out.
Well, he's got lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's dude, I've seen wild accusations. Like, I mean, everything from like what I texted you in response. No, I'm not all the way up.
Don't say nothing.
No, all the way up to like, and that was so everything from like very bad criminal actions, like I texted you about yesterday. I saw that,
Yep.
and then I've seen, the other one that's going around is Twitch became aware of him teaming up with Ninja and other large streamers to start their own platform.
Okay, well that's not as bad.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. Like everything as bad as like going to prison for a very long time.
Yeah.
All the way up to or down to, I guess, on the scale.
Your reverse.
Yeah. This is a reverse scale, but down to starting his own platform. So
it's like that meme. I can forgive criminal acts, but I draw the line at teaming up with mixer partners.
So true. So yeah, that's everything we know. And everything else is speculation. And
can't speculate.
I mean,
we're a journalistic entity, even if we do it very poorly.
Yeah,
we are a journalistic entity, and I'm not going to make reckless speculation about
exactly.
That sort of
Exactly. And then on the same, so this is a weird time for the game industry, and like the three topics in a row that kind of end the show until we talk about what we're playing is they all kind of tie together. So Dr. Disrespect gets canceled, for lack of a better term, deplatformed in the middle of like the entire gaming industry turning out to be, and I'm not surprised by the way by any of this, a total cesspool of terrible human beings.
I was gonna say, why are you doing this topic like now?
Because these three things flow together. So that's, some people were like, oh, it's going to be tied to that, obviously. So
in all fairness, it's most likely what it was.
Yeah. So, in the most politically, I guess, correct way to discuss this topic, and I have opinions and whatnot, but about these people that I can't say because this is a PG show. But a lot of people are coming forward, specifically women in the gaming industry, and they are releasing and sharing, bravely, may I add, instances of very strong, in some cases, sexual harassment and sexual assault that have occurred to them while trying to work in or climb the ranks of the gaming industry. And these acts were done by prominent members, of the gaming industry. And I think what we're seeing here is something, you see it in a lot of other industries, which is people with power will abuse people that don't have power. But it seems like it is like very prevalent in the gaming industry. I have, theories as to why it's so much more prevalent in the gaming industry, but it's not a good look right now. It's bad. There's a lot of people looking over their shoulder, and you know what? Don't do things if it's going to make you look over your shoulder the rest of your life. But it's very, like, people are losing jobs, rightfully, over it at big companies. There's, some of it's allegations, some of it people are saying it's slander. There's all kinds of other stuff. But if you take everything at face value, the gaming industry is just full of awful, sexist, misogynistic predators, in short, and they should all burn. And that's my nice rant. My ending of my nice rant is they should all burn. So.
Yeah, there was the weird situation though of the Counter-Strike caster.
Yes, that was weird.
Disproving all of it, and unfortunately, you always hate to see that sort of stuff because it delegitimizes all the other things that are actually like true and happening. But I mean, there's not really much to say. It's just people are awful. Don't be awful.
Yeah. Be good people. Yeah, and that was an interesting case because, like you said, the unfortunate side of it is, yes, some of these allegations will be false. Okay, and some and or very smooth, and that's what I'm getting at. It's very rare that it's a false allegation, and we should believe these people at face value up front until evidence otherwise is shown, right? But what happens and makes me disgusted for the types of people that are in the gaming community is the one time that happens, the 1 in 100,000 incident, it turns around and everything I'm seeing on Twitter today is like, well, how many of these other ones are fake? And it's like, well, it wasn't fake. The situation happened. It just happened differently than how it was presented initially, right? So, yeah, get effed. The end. So along with that, and I want to be fair to all parties. There was also not all parties, because the people doing this stuff can get
God, you're so
blasted.
bad at like walking around this stuff.
Because I'm just mad, and if I spoke the way I wanted to speak, we couldn't publish the podcast.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it's not just against women. There were allegations of racist comments, and language being used at companies, all kinds of stuff. They're it's an industry full of terrible people, apparently. And that was one of the speculations that came to this. So earlier this week, the main topic is about how Microsoft absolutely just obliterated Mixer as a thing that they do. I want to be very clear that a deal like that doesn't happen overnight. So for the people that are saying, well, once the comments came out about the employee at Mixer using racist terminology, right, that Microsoft decided to cut loose. You don't make a partnership with Facebook Gaming in 24 hours to destroy an entire division of your business, to escape a bunch of allegations. Now, timing is very good for them, because all this crap's coming down and now Mixer doesn't exist anymore. But I just want to be clear. Like a merger and acquisition or a partnership like that takes 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to build out. This has been in the pipeline for a long time. Did they maybe release it early because of what's going on? I mean, no one knew it was happening, so maybe. But if you missed it, basically earlier this week, Mixer literally out of nowhere was like, hey, Mixer doesn't exist anymore in a month, July 22nd, pack your bags, get lost. You're all going to Facebook Gaming if you want to. You're free to go anywhere you want, but, you can go over to Facebook Gaming. Your partner status will go with you. That's who we're partnering with for all our stuff. Most of the...
Can I make a Mixer account right now?
Can I
start streaming on Mixer? Is this when I launch my Mixer career? Hold on.
Do it.
Sign in. Create an account.
But here, do it. Ross exclusively on Mixer for the next 20-something days.
Oh, yeah, let's go. I'm going to be a Mixer streamer for the next month.
Yeah, there you go. Do it every day. Every day. So I guess the worst part about this, and it was like, it'll break your heart, but they didn't tell anybody except like the big people. So when this news dropped, I went over to Mixer, I went to the homepage, and I started clicking into different streams. And it would, dude, it was so sad. People were like crying. People were finding out in stream. Like I know. Are you able to stream?
No, if I go to the Mixer page right now, if you scroll down, there's a section that's partner spotlight, and it shows all their big like streamers or whatever, and it has like their name and like a little blurb about them. All of them have changed their blurb to follow my Twitch, and then their twitch.tv.
Yeah. It's what they're all doing. But it was sad. People were finding out on stream. People were playing games and they're getting, messages in their chat, rip Mixer, and people just think, oh, they're trolling. And then the different articles start getting linked, and these people find out that, their home has been closed down, not from Microsoft or the Mixer staff. They find out from random people, on the internet, which is unfortunate. And as far as I know, the Mixer staff didn't even know the decision was made.
Yeah, that's kind of...
So it was a very scummy situation in how they handled it. I did have the pleasure of talking with a few people, and going to release a podcast of one of those conversations with Pumpkin Kitty. He's a really cool dude. He's a partner streamer over there, and he was very honest about how he learned about it and everything that went on. And he's over on Twitch now. Most of them are over on Twitch. Our good friend Kareem, go follow Kareem Cheese. He is now officially a Twitch partner. He was a Mixer guy. But yeah, they're struggling. They're all struggling. They're trying to bring their community over. Some of the community's getting split. They're not going to Twitch. They're deciding they're gonna write out the Facebook Gaming because they hate Twitch or whatever.
That's right. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and Twitch is doing, I think, pretty good. I've noticed that 100% of my recommended streamers, like, you know, how it recommends different streamers to check out on the sidebar, almost 100% of them have been Mixer moveovers, refugees, whatever.
Let's see. Well, I'm scrolling through. Let me see like recommended. Like if I do browse.
Yeah. I don't know about browse. I just know that, like, and look, maybe it's the algorithm. Maybe it's because I was doing, you know, I was researching these people as I was talking to them for articles and stuff. Yeah. So maybe the algorithm's doing that. But they also invited them all to, as far as I know, they've invited all the partners to apply for partner status on Twitch, which is nice. Because, like, a lot of these people went over day one. They have no emotes. They have no subs. They have no, you can't gift bits. You can't do anything, you know? And it's like, it sucks. And one of the things I talked about that was kind of fun, not funny, but it's just like, can you imagine if, like, 2 months ago you were like, I'm gonna start streaming, I'm Ross, come to the Ross channel on Mixer exclusively.
Well, there's your first mistake.
Well, yeah,
streaming on Mixer.
Don't build your house on sand, you know.
In all fairness, like, they do some cool things, but it's just like, yeah, monopolies are bad, blah blah blah. But I mean, we have this thing that's really good, and yes, it has its problems, obviously, but we have this thing that works really well. It's like a mainstay for a reason. Why are we going to this other thing? And now, like, because you know what's funny? I just remembered there's Caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
The streaming website Caffeine. Like, okay.
There's another one, Tovo.
There's like a bajillion of them.
Yeah, is it Tovo TV? I think it's something like that. There's another one, and actually it's funny because from a source, this other one, I think it's Tovo. They sent an email to all Mixer partners, and they basically said, if you sign an 18-month exclusivity contract with us, we have, like, basically an 8-figure pool of money to pay partners with.
Okay.
Which, cool, you know, but it's like Mixer again, you know, but you know who really made out in this is Ninja and Shroud. They got that bag, bro. They apparently their contract got paid out, and they're able to go wherever they want to go. So they got paid.
I think that's a really interesting idea, though, is having essentially people on your payroll to be streamers instead of them just being completely, like, quote unquote commission only.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually a pretty cool idea. If you're starting something out, pay someone like X amount of dollars an hour to be a streamer on the site, and then you get like the whatever, the 50-50 cut of all the stuff. Like, I think that's a pretty cool business model, and something that's kind of attractive for people that are just starting out.
Yeah, that's how you. I think it's going to be very hard to organically build a platform.
Yeah,
Twitch did it. Okay, Mixer tried. They got 40,000 people or something, whatever. You know, like, it was small. They brought Ninja over, and Ninja halved his viewership by moving platforms. You know, I was talking to Pumpkin Kitty, and he was funny. I was like, hey, why'd you pick Mixer? He was like, one day I accidentally hit, like, go live on my Xbox. He's like, and that's what it went live to. He's like, and then I started building a community there, so that's where I am. You know, and I was like, oh, cool, you know? And I feel like some people, I know that's how Kareem got started, too. Kareem was an Xbox gamer. He went to Mixer off Xbox, and then he moved over to PC. So, yeah, it sucks. I feel really bad for these people. I feel really bad for people who were like, so people who were partners, or I guess technically still are partners on Mixer, they have the option to sign a contract with Facebook.
No.
It's not a contract. They can sign with Facebook and get partnership status with them. Okay, but they have to sign an NDA. They can't talk about anything about Facebook gaming, like the inner workings. But it's at will, and it's not an exclusivity contract. Okay, so that's that. But they can get partner immediately. Yeah. With Twitch, you can apply for partner. You're not guaranteed to get it, but if you were a Mixer partner, you can apply for partner there and kind of skip the whole affiliate step. Mm-hmm. What sucks is for the people who, like, have been in the partner pending program for Mixer and now aren't going to get partnered. They have no way to move to one of these other platforms and stay partnered. if someone just started, like they're screwed. They got to start all over.
Maybe you just started.
Well, yeah, it depends. Like, it was funny. I was like, oh, I'm glad I stopped streaming because there's going to be like this whole new influx of people that are, look, I don't want to talk crap about Mixer, but
I'm gonna start streaming.
do it.
All the Dr. Disrespect refugees, like if you need some place to drop your sub, it's gonna be me. Come to me. I'm the closest thing you're gonna get on Twitch.tv. Regardless, I'm gonna not have whatever illegal thing that he did. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna be all Doc, but without the legality, without the cheating on your wife. Thankfully, I don't have a wife, so I don't have to cheat on her. See, there you go, upgrade already. And then I'm gonna have like, yeah, welcome to the Champions Club, bro. It's Ross. I'm here. I'm streaming. And then like I won't, harass women. I didn't say that. I said I'm not gonna stream people in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was very clear. We all heard it. It was very clear. But yeah, the funny thing is, some of these, it's a lot. I don't want to say easier, but it's easier to get partnered. I feel like on Mixer because the percentages wise, you don't need as big of a viewership, I guess. And but some of these people, some of these people are coming over, that were partners on Mixer, and I'm looking at their average streams, and they were my average streams. Yeah. But yeah, so it's going to be really interesting. There's going to be a ton of extra competition kind of in the middle, and then obviously whatever Ninja and the really big guys decide to do, there'll be some competition at the top. You hope they bring some folks over, but yeah, it's just for a the story for me is for a platform that already had basically more streamers than it had viewers. We're adding more streamers and not an equal amount of viewers, so there's going to be a lot of shuffling. A lot of shuffling around.
We don't know what like Shroud or Ninja are gonna do or whatever Doc's gonna do. Granted, if he doesn't like go to jail or whatever for whatever happened, that sounds awful.
I know, it's like he'll keep going. People will keep paying him as long as he doesn't go to prison. And then if he goes to one of them fancy white collar prisons, he might just get to stream from his room. You know? So,
but what I think is obviously everyone's been saying that they're gonna make their own platform. Because Shroud and Ninja kind of have like FU money at this point where they can just do whatever they want. So if they make their own platform and they cater it around like, or you're going to have a bigger split of the money. We don't need that much money. And we have all these working connections that we have already because we're Ninja and we're Shroud and we're Dr. Disrespect. And we're going to put him in like lower font.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to be like a 12 times New Roman. He's going to be like an 8 times New Roman.
Yeah.
Maybe italicized. But I don't know if we were talking about how much money Ninja and Shroud got for whatever they brought to the website, but like let's just say that they paid them 30 million combined, which is probably not even close. It's probably a lot more. But let's just say out of 30 million, instead of giving that 30 million to 2 people to bring maybe like, I don't know, 10,000 people to the website or whatever, 100,000, what if you paid like 1,500 to 2,000 people minimum wage to stream 8 hours a day, and then you have all this content. But I mean, obviously, I'm not running a business, and if I was, it would probably go into the ground. But it just seems like such a waste of resources to just sink all your money into this one dude, hoping he saves your website.
Yeah, that was a question I had asked of people too, is like, how did you feel like when that happened, when they dumped 30 million, I think it was 30 million on Ninja and 10 million on Shroud, so 40 million total. When they threw $40 million at these people, like, were you excited or were you kind of like hesitant? And the answer was initial excitement, but like I think anybody who has been on that platform saw it not really growing the way it was meant to grow. And so the way I felt was it was exciting to have potentially more eyes on the platform, but it was also an indicator that like we're in Hail Mary mode.
You know what this reminds me of?
Oh no.
Trickle down economics.
Yeah, baby.
And it didn't trickle down.
It didn't.
Who would have thought?
It didn't. Though my boy Pumpkin Kitty on his last Mixer stream, Ninja hosted him and threw him a $250 donation. So Ninja did trickle it down. He trickled
a whole $250.
I know. Of the 30 million, he
Ninja
just
did not buy a latte this morning.
I know. That's how it works out. You know what's even crazier, and this was speculation, so tinfoil hat thing. But it was rumored that Ninja and Shroud got offered double their Mixer contract to go exclusive for Facebook.
Oh yeah, and of course they said no because Facebook is just like, why?
Yeah, yeah. Bunch of what's your average view? Look. You want to target the magical demographic is like that 18 to 36, right? Like that's the magical demographic for everything. Like if you own the 18 to 36, these are people who like usually have money and jobs and they'll buy stuff and they're looking for entertainment and they're willing to lock in and kind of like buy into branding, right? So like 18 to 36 is this sweet spot. So why would you go to a platform where my grandma uses it? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm surprised that of everything, like YouTube gaming, YouTube live streaming, like that the YouTube platform is big enough. It's like the second largest search engine on the internet. I don't understand how their live streaming stuff functions. I can't like find anything on there. You know what I mean? But like if they could streamline that and make it Twitch like, I think they'd have a shot. I don't know what Facebook's trying to do. It's just
because a lot of people just use YouTube simultaneously for their streams, so it just kind of makes sense. Because then you'd have your streaming and your VODs all in one place. It just kind of seems like it makes sense. But I don't know. Google's doing different things.
Yeah, like Stadia.
Yeah.
Gotta get.
You could have bought 1 month of Ninja.
Yep.
With all that Stadia money.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what those big guys do. I do think if someone built a cool platform, that would be good. I think my biggest problem, and it's not with, I guess it's with streaming in general. It's like the discoverability for a streamer is like impossible. Right now, the metagame as a streamer is to grow on one platform, like TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and get that audience big enough that you can then start directing them to your Twitch.
Yeah.
There's no way to like find somebody organically on Twitch. You either have to like a weird game like Divinity 2, okay, or you need to purposefully look for people with low viewership numbers to kind of find like a new up and coming streamer.
Yeah.
Or they have to get lucky and play some game that's hot and be like the first to it. So it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. And newer streamers also have sabotaged by like not having access to like high bit rates and stuff like that. And
yeah, the platform does nothing to help new streamers either.
Like
So.
I can watch this crisp stream in like 4K at 60 FPS, but then there's this other dude who's like, he can only go to 720 because he doesn't have the viewers required, and it's like, okay, well,
Exactly.
good talk.
Or like what's the other? It's like, oh man, it'd be really cool. You should have this emote. Well, you have to have at least 20 concurrent subscribers to get more emotes. It's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, in all fairness, they did it at one point, but still, it's very hard starting out now.
Yeah, the platform's changed. It's different. It's a different time. For sure.
Like Mixer and Facebook gaming trying to get into it now, Twitch got popular because it was the thing in the right moment. And all the streamers that are super popular were the thing in the right moment. So trying to be the next big thing in the right moment inorganically just doesn't work.
Yep.
Big surprise.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's I guess really that's the Microsoft Nukes Mixer. It did come out of nowhere. And for everybody, that's unfortunate. That sucks. I feel for the people. I feel for everybody from like day 2 Dan up to Ninja. You wake up one morning and all of a sudden you don't pack the bags.
The specifics of it, but they wouldn't be able to file for like unemployment because they'd be like they're like self-employed, right? So you can't just that extra sucks because at least people that are working normal jobs during all this can go unemployed for a little bit. Yeah,
that's the tough thing too, and like some of the people I was talking to, they're like, oh, I do this, I work a day job and then I do 4-hour streams every night. That's just what I do. This is my second job, and it's like, okay, so you're good, and they're like, I'm not worried, but they'll tell you, I'm worried for my friend that this is what they do 8 hours a day, and now they have to go over to a new platform. They have no subscriber money. They have no donations. Like, they now have to take whatever they earned this month. They're going to have to redo all of their sponsorship deals, right? because all your sponsorship deals are on paper that specifically says like Mixer, and it has rules and metrics around Mixer. And it's just everybody has 30 days to just figure it out. Like, good luck. And a lot of them, it seems like they're doing okay. Like,
Yeah.
And I will say this, the Twitch community has been pretty positive from what I've seen, except until Twitch allowed Mixer partners to apply for partnership. Then I started seeing places people complain like, why do I have to grind to 75 viewers? So-and-so only had 35 viewers right now, but they're getting partnered because they were a Mixer partner. Sorry I didn't pick a weaker platform. And it's like, bro, just let it go. They did all the work. Like, if you spent 2 years and built up, and you had 40,000 followers on Mixer, and you were a partner, and you were doing normal streams of 150 people, and you have 3,000 Twitter followers and 3,000 Instagram followers, you did the requisite work to become a brand. It doesn't matter that you're only getting 35, 40, 50 now. You exist. You have a community. There are people that know who you are. Like, if you haven't proven yourself, if you haven't done that, then yes, you have to go through the system. So
Sounds like a lot of jealous people.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's like me and you being like, why aren't we should get partnership? We have a podcast.
Yeah, I should get partnership. I'm great.
Yeah, so that is what it is. So that's all I have on Mixer. Do you have any parting words for Mixer?
I have one letter. F.
F. For real. We should do a video where we hold like a eulogy for Mixer. It was the subpar platform, and literally everybody saw this coming.
I was on Mixer for a solid 20 seconds just now, and I saw something cool. It's called the Hype Zone.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the Rainbow Six Siege Hype Zone, and it specifically swaps to different streamers on like the main page based on where they are in the round. So if it's like match point or whatever, it's gonna host them instead. So it's like the red zone, but for like a game. That's so cool.
Yeah, Mixer for everything that didn't work for them, that whole point of discoverability of new talent, they did that very well. They had the Hype Zone. They would feature different streamers regularly. It was a platform that was less kind of packed, so it was easier to find people. But yeah, things like the Hype Zone are really cool. They have a lot of cool stuff with, like, I don't know, embers, and I don't know. I was only on there for a little bit looking at people's stuff, and it just looked like there was a lot of cool viewer-centric components to it that made discoverability and other things better if you were a streamer, and a little bit if you were a viewer. But it also had a little bit of that over Microsoft stuff, like sometimes there was just too much crap on the screen, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
no problem.
it's just like there's too much stuff going on. So it is what it is. RIP. US the best Mixer. All right, let's talk about what we've been playing. We're not going to forget.
Okay. What have you been playing, Dan, since you're first?
All right, so I've been playing this game called The Shattering. The review for that was due 3 days ago.
Did you do it?
No, I just started playing it. I've been working on other stuff. I'm the face of Gamezo, bro. You too. We're like the Siamese twin faces of Gamezo. The conjoined faces.
Listen, you don't have to gas me up. I understand that I am a very ancillary part of the wheel, and I am in no way helping Gamezo do better. I am just here to tell you that the game you like sucks.
Oh, okay.
That's my function on this show.
Okay. Well,
I am totally okay with that. I understand. I think I'm bigger than Joe Rogan and Oprah, but like I understand in this situation I am not, and that is okay.
So, I have bad news for you this week, because you're not going to be able to tell me that the game I'm playing sucks. So The Shattering, I've been playing that. It's actually really cool. It's you basically play from a first-person perspective, kind of puzzle thriller game with some horror elements. You play as this guy that's working through his memory. He's in a hospital. He had head trauma, and he doesn't remember what happened to get there. And it's all very cool. It's dark. The game starts off with like, hey, we're gonna cover some mental health topics here, and it's not gonna be pretty. So good luck. And it also wants you to play with a headset because it plays with sound a lot, and the game works very, very well in making you feel like the anxiety and the tension and the stuff that he goes through as he's working through these memories. It's really good. I'm enjoying. It was a game that I didn't really want to review because it didn't look like a me game. But I'm actually enjoying it a lot, and I'm gonna play it later today. The other game I've been playing, Ross.
Oh, yeah, two.
The other game I've been playing is
double serving.
They did my boy 9S real bad early on in Nier Autonomama. Nier. I started Nier today, Ross.
What do you mean they did 9S bad?
Like right in the beginning, man. They do him dirty. They blow up his little mech thing. His leg's blown off. 2B's like, no, I'm going to save you. Nora's sitting there going, what happened to 9S? Because she knows the names because they're easy. It's a number and a letter. It's awesome. But that game so far is phenomenal, and I understand why you pushing it.
You do not. You're nowhere near where it gets good.
No, I know, and that's why I'm psyched, because I basically played until I could save, right? So they do that little black box fusion. Yeah, so they do the little black box fusion. But the fact that the game is constantly moving me from like Galaga to twin stick shooter to like action RPG and back with camera utilization from a gameplay component is like ridiculous. And the story, I can already tell, is going to be like, it's not going to be Last of Us 2. It's going to be good.
No, it's going to be much better.
It's going to be really good. I can already tell.
Funny because Nier Automata does the Last of Us 2 story better.
Damn.
It's similar themes, but Yoko Taro is a better writer than whoever's at Naughty Dog. So
yeah. It's I've just like, I started playing it, and the first thing that put a grin on my face is like, You're in the little, I don't know what they're called yet because I'm just
flight unit?
Yeah, the flight unit. So you're in it, and I'm like, oh, dude, this looks like Galaga, and then you get like blasted, and then I'm like, oh, surely the view's gonna change. And then it's like, no, dude, play Galaga, and I'm like, okay. So I do that, and then it's like, hey, you know what's really cool? It's also a Gundam. So now play a twin stick shooter, and I'm like, awesome. And then and the other thing I really appreciate about the game is that I can slap it on easy mode, and if I just don't want to fight something, I can hit L2, and it just kind of like auto kills. It just plays the action for me. So if I just get into a place where I care more about the story and I just want to run through a point and I don't want to have to grind through people, I can just click the little button. I'm good to go. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I like it. Nora watched like the whole first thing.
Only like 20 hours, Dan. Like you can play through it. It's not that long.
I'm off this week. Nora likes watching it. Yeah. I'm gonna get through it. Right. So I wanted to let you know it started. It finally started, and I know I'm only an hour in, but I very much like what I've got so far.
You'll have to keep me updated.
I will.
Also, 2B isn't the main character of the game. It's 9S.
Awesome. I like 9S.
I will just put that out there.
Good.
You can tell when somebody is the fake gamer girl, or like the fake gamer, when they care about 2B.
Yeah. No. Already 9S is my boy.
Yeah,
I like 9S. And what I love too is like, they're androids. And like she's so big on like, don't use emotion, and then she gets so emotional. 2B gets so emotional when she comes to him, and I'm like, oh, they're fighting like this whole like be soldiers have emotions thing. So yeah, it's gonna be good. I can tell. So what have you been playing, Ross? I need to yell at my kid who's trying to kick the door down.
Okay, go yell at your kid. Mute. There you go. Okay, that's like my on button is when you mute the mic, because then I know you can't talk over me. And now you're gone. This is great. You've walked away from your computer, so now I can hijack the podcast. And I mean, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, Rainbow Six Siege. That's usually what I've been doing. But tonight and the next couple days, for the Steam sale, I purchased. Oh my god, I'm actually blanking on the name. I'm actually stupid. Bloodstain Ritual of the Night. There we go. It was like a long one. It is a game made by, I'm going to butcher this name too, Koji Igarashi? The guy who's responsible for the original Castlevania game.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it.
Well, the game is Bloodstain Ritual of the Night. Yeah. It's on sale on Steam, finally. I was really hoping that it was going to be $19.99 on the Steam sale, but it was like $22, so I was like, okay, I'll buy it. Yeah, so I'm going to play the hell out of that. There's also a game called Edge of Eternity, which is made by some random like French studio, but they're making a turn-based JRPG with like hexagon strategy.
Nice.
In it. My only problem with it is that it's episode-based and there's only 5 episodes out, so I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to play through it. It seems like the episodes have been coming out every like 6-month span, so that's doable, I guess.
Yeah, as long as it's like... As long as it's normal episodic release, it's easy. But when, like, I used to hate the Telltale games when they'd be half on a normal release schedule and then like terrible. They'd be like, we're coming out every quarter, and then like after Q2, they're like, except for the next episode's coming out in 13 months, and it's like, I can't stay interested in a game If the episodes of the game, if the different levels or whatever you want to call them aren't coming out on a regular schedule, I'm going to wait until it's all there because I'm just going to lose interest. So
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So I'm gonna scroll through my Steam wish list, and I'm just gonna go through stuff that's on sale that I'll probably end up buying.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I have to do. I need
right.
to. I was saying that earlier. Like I've got some stuff to buy. There's some.
You said go through the wish list. I'm gonna do that right now.
Yeah. Do
You
it.
ready? Okay. So the very first game of the number 2 on my wish list. It's a game called Hades. It is made by Supergiant Games, the people that are responsible for one of my favorite games of all time, Bastion, and Transistor, which is also a really good game,
Yep.
and Pyre, which is not a very good game. You should not play it. But
Josh
Pyre
is in love with this game, by the way.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to play this again. Well, Josh and I have very similar tastes, but this is one where I'll look past the fact that it's like I hate the Greek god thing. Like I hate the Smite stuff. I don't care about any of those things, but whatever. Like it's the art style looks cool. I'll probably jam on that. Plus it's Supergiant. They're pretty good at making games. Procedurally generated Diablo style sort of game. A lot of fun. This one's gonna be weird. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I've been wanting to play this game like forever. And
Do it.
On sale, $35.99, 40% off. There is like a giant demo. They do the thing where they have the demo, and then if you buy it, you start where the demo ends. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably play the demo and then just like forget about the game and not have to buy it. So that's gonna be good for me. Let me scroll down. There's a lot of stuff that's coming soon because of this indie thing. I'm seeing like the Ultra Kill, the Ghost Runner, the Depth of Insanity. Depth of Sanity,
yes.
Not Insanity. We got the X4 Foundations game that Dan bought and probably played for like an hour.
I did do the tutorials in that game are like 3 hours a piece, and there's like 4 tutorials just to figure out how to do the basic functions of the game.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, so I'm probably holding off on that one, even though I definitely want to play it. We got the Moving Out games on sale.
Nice.
We were gonna play that, but
I big timed y'all and became the streamer for the troops.
Yeah, you saved me from having to spend $18.74 in a game. So
yep, there you go.
We got Dunk Lords. Dunk Lords $15.99 on sale right now.
I bought it at launch. You get that Dunk Lords. We play Dunk Lords.
All right. Well, a game that is not on sale that I wanted to buy. So remember how I said that you can tell how much they care about a game about whether or not it's on sale?
Yeah.
The game Daemon X Machina that came out on the Switch. It came out on Steam in February, and it's got good reviews. Wow, 4,000 people bought this on Steam. Holy crap, that's wild. Yeah. I couldn't imagine playing this game on a Switch. Playing this on PC is probably a whole lot of fun. I was really hoping that this was going to be on sale, but it is not, unfortunately. So you hate to see it, folks. I wanted to rebuy Nier Automata on Steam, but unfortunately that as well is not on sale. I was hoping SpongeBob SquarePants Battle of the Bikini Bottom Rehydrated was on sale, but it just launched this week, so it is not on sale. Valkyria Chronicles 4. Okay, we're 66% off. Now we're $16.99 from $50. Okay, this is a very boring segment. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna end this very soon. Zone of the Enders, the second runner, $7.49. Nice.
Good sale.
This is where I'm like very embarrassed about the fact that I have like 5 different Sword Art Online games on my wish list.
That's why you're gonna end the segment right before those.
I'm sure these games are not very good, but they seem cool. And my absolute guilty pleasure is the game that plays like an MMO, but it's not an MMO. And then the anime where like they're in the MMO. It's called like isekai. It's like an actual genre of anime. I eat that shit up. I love it so much. But again, guilty pleasure because most of these animes are very bad and they're written very poorly. And it's usually like, here's boy main character and 8 different girl characters that all fight over the guy. It's called the harem trope. That's bad. But yeah, that's my wish list.
Awesome. You know what my guilty pleasure is the anime games that are simply reskins of a Dynasty Warriors.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
Those are the best. I love those. First off, Dynasty Warriors, great. Second off, like I know exactly what I'm getting into anytime I buy any anime game, pretty much. right? Like if you get a Seven Deadly Sins anime game and you go look at the gameplay, it is Dynasty Warriors. If you go look at the One Piece, which I don't like, by the way, just to set that record clear, I'm straight. But then if you go and look at the One Piece video game, it is the exact same game as the one you just watched for Seven Deadly Sins, except it's skinned for One Piece. And then if you go look at the Bleach game, it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I'm also I like the Dynasty Warriors Gundam a lot as well.
Bro, what the hell? I just pulled up Dynasty Warriors 9 on Steam, and that got mostly negative. What the hell?
People obviously don't like Dynasty Warriors. Dorks.
I have it. It was fine.
I love them. You just run around and you.
Yeah, like I thought it was okay. Like
That's it.
DLC price. Okay. Oh, these people are just review bombing it because of DLC.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go. We heard you. You know what? Now I want a good Gundam game. What's the best Gundam game that's come out recently? Someone help.
All the Gundam games that have come out recently are like the 3v3 fight style, like the Cydia.
Boo! I want like a really good Gundam. I want like
Gundam Pilot.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want what I want the most is I want like. Yeah, I think you nailed it. Like the Skyrim Gundam Pilot, like I want like visceral, real controls. I want to be able to upgrade my Gundam. I want to fight through an open space world. Like that's what I want. That would fit all of my needs. But alas, here we are. What do we got? Gundam Breaker, Gundam Versus.
Yeah, Gundam Versus are the 3v3 ones. Or I think it's 2v2.
What's Gundam Breaker? Collect Gunpla parts with friends and make your ultimate Gundam. Defeat your enemies with your Gunpla model. Collect their parts.
SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays. Single player game. What is this? Very positive.
But what?
Show me the gameplay. I don't want a trailer.
Oh,
I don't care about these trailers.
This game is weird, Gundam Breaker. It's basically you're doing what I said. You're collecting parts for Gundams and you're fighting, but actually it's Gunpla, which are the models,
the little figures.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because it's like almost the game I want.
Unfortunate. Oh, this is a tactical RPG.
Which one?
It's called SD Gundam G Generation Crossplays.
I'm there. This segment is called "Why Didn't You End the Podcast?" Dan tries to find a Gundam game. That's what I like, man. The voiceover is in Japanese. They didn't go and put it in English. Oh, dude, I'm getting hype.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo, I'm in. Dude, they're dropping the bass on me, bro.
Looking at the system requirements, this could probably run an Xbox Series S. There you go.
The funny thing is that they don't have like anything. It's like 2 dope videos and some screenshots that aren't screenshots. It's just art.
They're breaking the ROS rules of the game.
All of the ROS rules.
Now I gotta do SD Gundam G Generation Cross. What
hey,
the hell kind of name is that, man?
Tom Create developed it.
Tom Create.
Yeah.
Well, what else did Tom Create make?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to. All right, so I go on YouTube and I'm looking for like demos or whatever, like gameplay video. Okay, it plays just like a Fire Emblem game.
Okay, so I can get behind that.
Yeah, same I do.
I can get behind that. It's a good game.
Oh, my boy, Hero Yui up in here. Okay.
Get it. All right, Ross. Well, I think that's it. Is that everything? Slow news week. We were still able to sap an hour and a half out of it. So, go us.
Yeah, because it's like an hour and a half of us just complaining.
Yeah. Welcome to the official complain cast of Gamezo. Every week, Dan and Ross get together and complain about everything. Yeah, cool. So if you watched, come check us out again next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sunday. Oh God, I'm already in vacation brain. Nothing works. Next Sunday.
Is Sunday 4th of July?
No, that's Saturday. Yeah. I might do like a small something. I know you're socially distancing and so am I, but
yeah.
I don't go anywhere. So if you want to come get a hot dog, you can. I assumed. I did the polite thing and invited you.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
Even if your friends are shitty and don't want you to social distance, you should
Yes. The only place I've gone is like the basic stuff, and then my mom's house, and her and my dad both have to be like hyper social distanced because my dad has autoimmune, and then my mom has lung issues, so they don't go anywhere. So I'm like that's cool. Like I'm okay with that. But anyway, so that's 4th of July next weekend. Gonna eat some wings. Gonna get real fat. Gonna have some beer and not feel so great the next day. It's just how it goes.
Bless America.
Yeah, America. And enjoy my COVID 4th of July. So you can join us next Sunday the 5th. I know you might be out there watching your F1 races because we're mostly European listeners. I'll be with you, so it's all good. I got to figure out what time Austria to us is and how that affects. I think I'll just have to wake up at like 7 a.m. That's how that usually works.
2 a.m.
No, that's Japan. The Suzuka race last year, I drove back from Atlanta from a conference, got home at 10 o'clock at night, went to bed, woke up at 1 to watch the race in Suzuka, and then went back to bed. Die hard. The other thing, I'm writing us out. I'm ending it.
Didn't you have like a nuke that you were supposed to?
Oh, the nuke was I was playing Nier. That was my nuke.
Oh.
That was the big nuke. I finally got around to playing it. Ross chased me since it came out to play it, and then I bought it like 3 months ago to just try to get him off my back. But then that got Ross just asked me when I was going to actually play it. So now that you haven't been asking, I started it. That's what you got to do. You just gotta leave me alone.
Yeah.
If you leave me alone, I'll play it. So like 5-star review, do all that good stuff. Someone tell us that Ross is handsome, since my wife went and said I was handsome. She has to say that.
I already know that. I don't need other people to tell me that.
She's contractually obligated to do so by the marriage. And come join us on July 5th if you want at 2 p.m. for the live cast. And I'm sure Ross and I will change the overall structure of this podcast again because we just don't like it.
Hey, hold on. Wait, no. I gotta keep the structure the same.
Oh no!
So, in honor of the now deceased esports segment, I have to find some not relevant esports news. Hold on, I'm on the website. Okay. Okay, so I have a really important esports story that we are going to talk about that we have both studied and researched for.
Of course.
So the old jalapeno CS:GO roster has been picked up by Galaxy Racer Esports. This
for
is
Valorant.
For Counter-Strike.
Oh wow! Whoa!
This is a team change. I'm gonna read their official tweet. This was 2 hours ago. Announcement: We are happy to welcome Jalapeno and their head coach from Sweden as part of the Galaxy Racer family. Joining us will be Freddy Frog CS:GO, Relax CS:GO, Pleasant. Why do these guys all have CS:GO at the end of their Twitter?
I don't know.
Pleasant CS:GO, Dezon CS:GO, Trill CS:GO, and Tabs CS:GO. All part of the Galaxy Racer Esports family now. So good luck to them. Let me see. Okay, let me look up Jalapeno. Their last few games. Oh damn. They are. Oh, these are 2017. Never mind. Wait, I'm looking at their like results or whatever. And it's like first King of Nordic week 10. First King of Nordic week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm like, wow, these guys are killing it. And then I look at the date, it's like 2017. Damn. Okay, so they haven't done much. Okay, no. Recent matches, they have failed to qualify for Summit 6.
Damn.
So they are coming off a very illustrious CS6 Summit European Open qualifier where they got washed by Complexity Gaming. But they did defeat Ago, X Smash, and Illuminar Gaming on their way to that loss, unfortunately.
Well, they climbed.
They also played in the home sweet home week 8, where they had a really good game against Anoris, the illustrious esports organization, where even on Wikipedia their team doesn't exist. They also lost to the Copenhagen Flames.
Oh no, not the Flames.
Denmark, they're undefeated in esports. So hats off to them. So good luck to the Jalapeno boys that are now Galaxy Racer Esports, and that is our esports segment.
There we go. We kept it going. All right, Ross. Do you want to phase up or phase down?
I think they won recently.
Good check.
Sure. No one said the N-word recently, right?
I don't think so.
Good.
Not from phase up.